Good afternoon. Today I'm going to have a little bit of a serious chat, and it's going to be a point of view. And if you saw the description of the video and my thumbnail, you know that it's about the masks. And I'm going to talk about something that I don't think anybody talks about anymore. And it's the mask wearing, mask mandates, and the reason why we've been wearing these masks. Tomorrow, in the state of Massachusetts, is the last day that healthcare workers have to wear masks at work. Unless, of course, you're taking care of someone that has an illness or the C virus. And I say that kind of code words because I don't know what YouTube does about this subject anymore. But I have mixed feelings about it. And my feelings are bittersweet. How I'm feeling about it is bittersweet. That's the only word I can use to describe. And it's because, although, and I would be a liar if I said I'm not happy that we have to we don't have to wear masks anymore. Because I'm happy. I'm happy to not wear this on my face for 8 hours a day at my workplace. But the reason why it's bittersweet for me is because for the past 3 years, since this week, today's May 9th, this week in 2020 was when I was the sickest that I have ever been. When I had my infection, that was when no one knew what to do with this virus. No one knew what to do about it. No one's ever heard of it. No one's ever taken care of anybody with it. No one ever had it. There were debates where it came from. There were people saying that it was a farce, that it wasn't real. And if you got it and you were as sick as I was, there had to have been something wrong with you in the first place, because they were talking about people with comorbidities being the sickest. And I had no comorbidities, nothing. Again, I had it when it was new, and there weren't any vaccines. And like I said, no one knew what to do except for isolate. And that's what I did. And then I felt okay enough to go back to work after 6 weeks. I was out of work 6 weeks with it. And I'm talking about when I was home alone in this condominium. I even had to send my dog away because I didn't want my dog to get sick. My dog went to my parents. I went through stages of one symptom would come and it would go, and a new one would present itself. It was such an extended illness. It didn't hit me all at once. I woke up with bloodshot eyes and the feeling of something's not right. And then I tested positive. I was in the hospital for a day. And then the next day, some confusion set in. And the next day after that it felt like my head was being crushed. And then the next day was a lot of stuff in the chest. The day after that, I couldn't walk. I had no use of my legs. The day after that was when I lost my sense of taste and smell. And just, you know what I'm saying. And I think that in 2020, before any vaccines, that is when so many people were just dying left and right. And at my facility, we lost like over 30 people in 1 month. And what I'm trying to get at in this video is, while I'm happy we don't have to wear this unless we're taking care of someone that's sick, the bittersweet feeling that I have is we cannot forget how awful it was. We cannot forget how awful it was when we didn't know what to do with our children because we still had to go to work and they had to be schooled at home. Or not being able to leave our house. Or going to work and having to take care of someone so sick with COVID. And when we started wearing these. And at my facility, we started with cloth masks because, again, we didn't know what we were dealing with. So we thought like a cloth mask that you made out of like this cute material. And everyone was donating stuff like that, masks like that to the facility. And then it got really bad and really bad. And then you had to put like hazmat suits on. I had one on at work. And it just got worse and worse. While we're lifting this, we cannot forget the bad. We can't forget the people that died. I can't forget what COVID did to me. And I feel, and naturally, of course, life goes on, and we need to try to get back to some kind of normal that we used to know. And I'm not trying to feel bad for myself. I don't want to be forgotten. Because, let me tell you, and I've done some videos about things that have happened to my heart. And the TIA, I had the small stroke. Some days are still a struggle for me. I, since May of 2020, have scratched and crawled my way into the health that I am now. Never was on heart meds before COVID. Never had strokes before COVID. Now let me show you something else that still remains with me 3 years later. Can you see this? These bruises? That is not because I'm hurting myself or someone's grabbing me or I'm whacking into anything. Part of what the infection did to me was it attacked, one of the many things it attacked in my body was this. I wake up with this still 3 years later on my arms and my legs, and it comes out of nowhere. And often, like that one, yellowy. Usually when you get a bruise, it's like black and blue and purple. No, they present themselves like old. It's like a mystery. And the doctors are aware. Another thing that's happened to me is like brain fog. I suffered big from the brain fog, and I still do. And then there's the heart, which I really feel that is what happened to my heart. So while I'm happy that I don't have to do this every day at work, I almost feel like, okay, life goes on. Take your mask off. Forget about what happened to you. And you might feel that too if you went through what I went through. We can't forget. And I don't think any of us could forget. But while we go back to normal in our workplaces, if you work in healthcare, if you're in the state that I'm in, Massachusetts, or if you're in a state where you haven't had a mask mandate for a while, please don't forget what happened to us. Don't forget what happened to our loved ones that were in a nursing home or in a hospital. And if you lost someone to this horrific thing and you weren't able to be with them while they passed on, whether it was from this virus or from something else that was in the that they were in the hospital for, that took their lives, and because of these precautions that we had to follow, the no visitation rule, you weren't able to be with them when they passed. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. I can't forget what happened to me. I don't want to say I embrace it, but I live life to the fullest now. To the fullest. Where I have such a different view of people and a different respect for myself. I don't tolerate nearly as much foolishness from people that I used to, because I know now that I survived something that was meant to do me harm. It was meant to do me the harm that it did so many people. But I pulled through because I have now, and I had then, a strong will to live and carry on. Again, I'm doing things with my life that I never thought of doing before. I speak my mind on my YouTube channel. I'm going on a vacation in 11 days where I haven't gone on a vacation in a while. Just haven't, but you know what? I lived, and I'm going to continue to live the best life. I'm going to live my best life because I have such a different view and attitude now of life. Not just because of my infection, but because of the stroke and the heart attack that I had. Life is too short. Life is too short to not live it. But the whole message that I wanted to give today was this thing that we've been wearing on our faces, that we're finally able to take off. Let us not forget who we lost. Let us not forget the tears that we cried at work, or the tears that I cried at work. I could speak for myself, and I'm sure I could speak for some coworkers. Let us not forget the reason why we had this on in the first place. So I guess as of Thursday, I don't have to wear this anymore, unless for some reason where I work sets a different rule. But and I'm not going to get too much into that because I don't know. So yeah, let us not forget. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.